Well, Dr. Okupe joins us now. He's the media advisor to the Director General of the PDP Presidential Campaign Organization. You're welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just wondering, where do you stand? Do you think this is a blessing? Are you going to vilify or are you going to praise INEC? Which one are you going to do this morning?
None of the above.
None of the above.
You
don't think it's a blessing? You don't think it's a...
For elections, you're not looking for blessings, really. And it's just, the situation that we find ourselves is something quite unfortunate. But I'm also not going to overreact and start to call for blue model and all that, because I'm a systems person. I have been in 2 governments before, and I've been in a government that postponed an election. So I have intuitions that make me to understand the situation better than maybe an average person. But what I know and what I see is that what we're hearing and what we're talking about may not really be the totality of the truth. But that is also in the line of situations like this. Maybe some other day, or when the country decides to actually say, we want to find out what really happened on the 16th, on February 16th, then the whole truth, or part of the whole truth, will come out.
16th or 15th?
No, February.
15th was when, it was the midnight of 15th that the elections were postponed.
Okay, so let's call it, 15th. Okay, fine, no problem. No problem.
What are you hearing, though?
No, it's not question. It's not a question of what I'm hearing. It's a question of what am I seeing? What happened here? An election was supposed to have held, on Saturday, and just a few hours before morning, before the election starts, the commission that is in charge says that it's impossible to go ahead. Of course, that's a unmitigated disaster. But then, what are the issues? We saw offices in states being burnt. The commission claims there were flight delays. NEMA says, Aviation Authority says there were no weather issues. Do you understand my point? So, what we are seeing, I'm always in the habit of trying to speak the truth on these issues. What we are seeing, and not being hypocritical, what we're seeing is a Nigerian problem. A Nigerian problem where you have a government that is existing, okay? But the government has so many heads. It's like a hydra, okay? Different heads with authorities. You have an organization like INEC, with top people in top places, serving different interests. You understand? Because here we have evidence. I've read about a plane being diverted from Enugu to go and land in Port Harcourt. So where do such orders come from? So many things happened. So it is beyond the scope of an ordinary Nigerian to really fully understand without a deep probe. We'll just be wasting our time.
So you don't want to read anything to it?
I don't want, it doesn't mean, because I just told you, I'm a system person. I have an idea, some idea of what may likely have happened and what is currently happening. I've just given you an example, especially in this administration that has many PowerPoints.
In this administration, they'll say almost every administration has a different PowerPoint.
No, locus of power. There's you have the president, you have the so-called cabal, you have the party chairman, you have other people, all of them with strong influence on government and governance, and not necessarily coordinated. So when Onashimole comes to INEC and says, and makes that kind of show he did, some people say he was acting. I don't think so. He may actually have been totally oblivious of what happened. And then you see, government is bad business. People in government are not always good people, although we look okay. You look at me.
Am I supposed to look at you with another eye now?
Government. You go and check the history of the world. Government is bad business. Everybody. In Agbada looking, smiling, and all that things that government people do. If people.
So you think that there could have been some sabotage?
There's no doubt about that. I cannot prove it, and that's why I really don't want to dwell into it. But, you know, that's I keep telling you that having been in government, you know, in various governments and operating at a very high level, when, you know, when I see these signals...
Where do you think the sabotage could have come from? From the political parties or from within INEC?
It's difficult to say. You know, you cannot even say that it's APC that is doing this. But, you know, or government that is doing it, because people act in private capacities to defend private interests,
Have you gotten
which may be coterminous with political interests or political parties or government.
Would you say your party, or let me just say the campaign organization which you speak for, would you say they have gotten over the disappointment of Saturday?
It's difficult to get over it. We are the main opposition. We have deployed men, money, materials, and resources. Okay, we operated the campaign on shoestrings. You know, we're not like the government that can use money from parastatals and all that. You know, it's from little contributions from people. So once we now do that, and we think that, you know, we hit El Dorado, and then say there's no show. In fact, my first reaction is that, okay, these people, what they have done is that, okay, they want us to exhaust our resources and then shift another date, and then so that they can have an advantage. But, you know, I mean, fortunately, what's on the ground now is beyond money. People are just determined that this administration has to go. So whether they're mobilized or they're not mobilized, they're still going to vote. And they're still going to vote out the administration.
It is interesting you talk about, you know, these people want us to finish our money, blah, blah, blah. Was that what happened in 2015? Just asking.
That is on the other side. In 2015, you know, I mean, Mark, I'll be very honest with you, okay? I don't have reason to lie. In 2015, the government had genuine fears. Although we were in government, right? But we had genuine fears about, you know, insecurity in the Northeast, okay? And that our opponents, though they were not in government, but you remember that the political head of the Northeast, most of them were in the opposition. So if the issue of insecurity in the Northeast was not properly resolved, to allow for some degree of voting and all that, which can be easily monitored, we could be wiped out. You know, because I give you an example. Borno State probably has about 4,000 polling units. Okay? Yobe, similar. That's 8,000. Now, between, you know, if 8,000 polling units, nobody voted, and you put 1,000 votes in each polling unit and write it and sign it, that's 4 million, that's 8 million votes.
The thing was the concept.
So that was why we insisted at that time that the security in the Northeast must be such that people can come out to vote. And when they come out to vote is when we can actually monitor and ensure that, you know, we are not disenfranchised. The
major differences, at least from what we can see on the surface, let us not talk about the permutations now because nobody really knows what has happened.
Yeah.
What we know